The great thing about PPMA show is that you get to see some old friends here. Ian from Schur is, well, back again. Ian, for anyone who isn't aware of what you do, tell me about Schur.
Well, it's Schur, and what Schur systems are about is combined packaging systems. So what we offer is we offer a complete solution from packaging through to packaging machines. So we're quite unique in that way.
Fantastic. What have you brought with you this year then?
So we've got two machines with us this year. We've got the small baby of the family, which is the Schur Lite. Now the Schur Lite over here.
Should we take a wander over?
Absolutely. So the Schur Lite is quite unique. It runs from 240 volts. It's on wheels and it will go through a standard doorway. So for small operations, it's very, very simple machine to use. It doesn't need any compressed air or anything like that. And the fact that it all folds up nice and compact and can be pushed from one room to another room through a normal doorway makes it very, very unique in its way of operation.
And in terms of throughput capacity?
It'll do about 20 bags a minute, so it's not there for the big manufacturers. It's there for the small people that are starting to get onto the market. Produce, components, things like that.
But like you say, that portability, the fact that you can fit this through a normal doorway is going to be very important for those smaller, maybe cottage industries that are starting to expand their operations, maybe?
Yeah, but not only that, it's a single 3-pin plug. It's 240 volts. It doesn't need any air. It doesn't need 600 amps or anything like that. It's just a 240 volt plug. It's so simplistic.
I could fit that in my kitchen in that case. However, you cover the spectrum and your other system here. Let's take a look at this. This is somewhat more substantial, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is the big brother, and this is more for the larger operator. This, we can single index it, we can double index it, we can triple index it, depending on the size of the pouch. So, we can get 60 to 80 bags a minute from this. And the unique thing about this machine compared to most others on the market is the fill section, which if you want to walk...
Let's come and have a look at that.
The fill section here, when we build the machine, it can be anything from 1 metre long up to 10 metres long.
Okay.
So, we do one customer that packs ration packs and they have 15 people all putting their individual product on there. Okay. But on the other hand, we have other people that have got multi-head weighers and liquid dosing system, as well as people putting parts into it. Yeah. And there's not many machines that you can do that are on the market.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you for bringing these with you. And in terms of the throughput for one of these, I guess it depends on how it's been built and how it's been spec'd, right?
Yeah, it's all down to, one, the way you're filling it, what you're filling, and the size of the pouch. So a pouch this sort of size, you could expect double indexing, 40, 50 bags a minute, just to keep people comfortable. But, depending on what you're filling, we can get more. But another thing about the machine is we can gas flush on it as well. Okay. So people doing produce and things like that, they can extend the shelf life through gas flushing.
Thank you. Before we wrap up, in terms of the kind of bigger industry trends here, we were chatting before we rolled about sustainability and the importance that plays to you guys, and maybe what you've got on your product roadmap. What can you share with us about sustainability and about where you see products and this part of the industry going next?
Well, it's funny, I was listening to a debate last week, and for the first time somebody actually sat down in a debate and said there is a life for plastic. And plastic is going to be needed, because when you start talking about food waste and things like that, nothing prevents food waste better than plastic at the minute. You don't get the barriers with paper and things like that. And depending on what the product is, depends on the material. So some particular plastics are still going to be with us whether we like it or not. But on the side of sustainability, we're looking at single monolayer materials, single substrate laminates to offer better shelf life and things like that are all recyclable, as well as paper bags. And the joy about this particular machine is it doesn't matter whether it's the paper bag that we offer or whether it's a multi-layer laminate, it will all run down the one machine without having to change the sealing head.
Of course. And coming back to that plastics point, I think that's a really interesting and important point as well. You know, that there are different types of wastage. There are different, I guess, not priorities, but food waste is very important to cut down on. Plastic is one of the ways in which we can do that. So it's about ensuring that the plastic that you are using to minimize food waste is as good as it can be, as recyclable as it can be. And like you say, different substrates, different laminate, different compositions there that makes it easier to recycle is one of the ways of kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. But we look at that, but also the big talking point at the moment is carbon footprint. Yeah. And when you look at the recyclability of some particular materials, the carbon footprint is that great, it's not really ethical to recycle them. And again, this was brought up in the debate last week, which was, it was music to my ears, because it's the first time somebody sat down and had that conversation and said, well, actually, yes, it's recyclable, but the carbon footprint is way too big. We've just heard yesterday on the news, Lego saying that their recyclable PET plant, they're not going to operate because the carbon footprint is far greater than what it was with their standard. So I think there's a seismic shift now on carbon footprint as opposed to the recyclability side of things.
Certainly good to be having these conversations, and I'm sure there'll be many more conversations along those lines taking place here at PPMA across the 3 days. Listen, Ian from Schur Staff, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you around the show floor over the next few days.
Nice to see you. Thank you.